Hello, everyone. Hey, Judy, how are you?
I'm great, Adam. Nice to see you.
Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
For everyone watching, Judy is a senior tenant sign manager at Simon's Properties. Is that correct? That's
Yeah, Simon Property Group, but yeah,
Simon
absolutely.
Property Group. You've been with them for 22 years.
Yeah, just over 22 years now, and I've been handling their sign program from soup to nuts, basically from dealing with municipalities, coming up with sign programs and criteria that works for everybody, approving tenants' drawings that sign companies send me, and all the way to installing, coordinating their installations of their signs when we open, with all the different trades that are on site doing construction, for a grand opening. It's pretty exciting.
I gotta imagine it's got to be a pretty scary task there, or a large task. 230 malls. Is that correct? That's how many you guys currently have?
Yeah, we have over 230 malls, and we 47% of those are retail, full retail. 32% are premium outlets, which is my specialty, and 12% Mills properties, and then 9% internationally. So our diversification really helps our balance sheet and us to be able to do things other companies can't.
That's pretty awesome. When you say 47% retail, that's in my mind, that's the mall you enter, right?
Yeah, that's the full retail. So, most of them are indoors, but there are outdoor full retail facilities too.
Awesome. Before we jump in, it's good that you're a former East Coaster, right? You came from Rhode Island originally?
I was born in Rhode Island, yes.
And now you're out in beautiful Southern California.
I'm a big Patriots fan, even though Tom Brady left.
We're very happy about that here down in Philadelphia. Well, I wanted to ask you a few questions. Again, we appreciate you hopping on. I think you give a really exciting perspective, being involved in signage, but also kind of not, in a sense. I mean, I know you do a lot of signage, but your company itself is not a traditional sign company. So you get to kind of take a different perspective than most of the people out there. And I think you can give anybody watching a really good something to think about when it comes to retail and where we're headed. And part of what I want, maybe you can elaborate a bit more on what does Simon Property Group do as a whole? Is it just malls and outlets, or does it hold the real estate for these malls and malls?
Yeah, we're actually a real estate investment trust company, and so we do everything from the development to the management to everything as far as malls. But yes, it is only mall oriented. And our I don't know if you're aware of this, but our CEO David Simon's actually on the presidential committee during this crisis to tasked with getting the economy going again, which is pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, during this whole ordeal and the mall closures, Simon has refocused its efforts and ramped up its promotion of our online brands. We've had curbside pickups for the businesses that are at the centers that were deemed essential. And then we've also been hosting things like food banks and distributions for the Feeding America program across the nation. We've been giving our lots to COVID test sites. We've also been helping the American Red Cross by promoting the Simon Sleeves Up program, where you can just sign up online for blood donations and all kinds of things like that. So Simon is a huge company that wants to give back to the community, and me as an individual, I also strive for improving myself. So during these times when we find ourselves not having much time to do anything, or not our normal operations, it's good that I am serving currently as treasurer on the Sign Research Foundation, and I'm a director on the ISA board, because it gives me access to so many things that I can improve my leadership skills on, keep up with the sign industry and where we're going with that, and allows me to improve my program as well for Simon. So it's really, it all depends how you take this downtime and use it.
Yeah, I was going to jump into that and I see you wearing your ISA badge. Mine's back here on the desk. It's awesome. So you serve on both the Sign Research Foundation, as treasurer, I think you mentioned, and
Yes.
you're on the board of directors with ISA. How have those two things given you a different perspective of signage as a whole as you've been working at Simon?
It's been great having access to all the different people in the different areas of the sign world, because I have a better understanding of how things work, how they're manufactured, what actually can be, we can work together to get a better communication program between the different elements that make a successful sign install happen. It's helped me, obviously see new products come out quicker. I think the most important part, though, is my connections. I'm finding local sign companies for our projects and people that can help Simon and its tenants.
That's awesome. So a big part of what you do, obviously, is this ever-changing world of retail. How are we going to bring customers into the mall or into the outlets? What type of experiences are they going to experience? If you turn on CNBC or you turn on something else, one day we'll hear malls are dying. The next day we'll hear malls are thriving. As you're working on signage and branding for these properties, how do you see retail changing, and what changes are you making to keep retail moving forward the way it is?
Well, as David Simon explains on our website, we've always been transforming retail into something new through innovation and being creative way before COVID came along, but even more so now. We've put into action like creative changes, for instance, making more exciting mixed use properties, so that it's not just all about a shopping store. There's restaurants, there's lifestyle entertainment changes, concepts that people are wanting right now, especially being locked down for so long. They're looking forward to getting out and doing these things again. I see a lot of new to market brands coming up. So you see a lot of pop-up stores, which was happening even prior to this. And I think the trend's going to continue and maybe even grow this year and maybe into the next few years.
What's a pop-up store? Could you elaborate on?
Yeah, a pop-up store is basically, you could have a national brand that wants to try a new product or a product line, and they're not sure it's going to fly. So they'll pop up the store, and it's basically, a small version of their big retail store that just showcases these products. So it's more temporary. Fixtures are temporary, but they've done a great job with vinyls and all the stuff that sign companies can do these days. And even like I was telling someone the other day, there's if you have a 3D printer, you have a great advantage, because stores they've been printing like fixtures, flooring, all kinds of things, even the walls. They can make all kinds of patterns with walls now. So you could go, it's a one-stop shop if you take advantage of something like that.
And do you see these pop-up stores kind of taking the branding and as you mentioned, the vinyl or the wallpaper? Do you see them doing the decorative to another level compared to the normal?
Yeah, it's actually more creative, which is kind of what Carissa said from the Tony Robbins webinar that ISA held. It's all about being creative and caring right now in this environment. The more creative you are, the more work you're going to get, and of course, being cost effective as well. But those sign companies that immediately changed their websites and converted their facilities to be able to create masks and shields and all those things that help what's going on right now, we're able to stay busy and in good shape while their other part of their business slowed down or even stopped. And now they're ready, still in a good position to take on this reopening. So as tenants are reopening and they're aware of their clients' needs, they should focus on something, like a social distancing package, having a quick price sheet or something that will show tenants, how quickly they can get them this package. Here's what we have. It works for a 2,000, 3,000 square foot store, and you can install it yourself with minimal staff. So it's got to be easy, quick, and cost effective. But if they want something prepared for that, they're going to be ahead of the game.
That's a tremendous idea. Thinking about it, a post-COVID package
Yeah.
for retailers that have floor graphics, maybe a sneeze guard or a partition involved in it, and being able to kind of pick and choose. I think probably the biggest thing there is the companies that are innovating and creative enough to come up with these flyers or PDFs that actually tell the story, give an example of what one might look like.
Yeah, tenants are going to want to see it all in one place in one quick look, because they're not going to have a lot of time to spend thinking about it. They have a lot to do with retraining their employees and getting all their policies in place for reopening.
And do you see the curbside and some of these things actually going away? Do you see them kind of staying for the foreseeable future?
It's varied by tenant, and that's going to be on their decision. We when we reopen a center, then they are expected to hopefully be able to open. If the center's open, the tenant should be open. We understand that everybody has a time frame where they have to get their people back up and running. Like I mentioned, the training part of it is a big deal. There are software applications I know that are out there that like Subway and Shell are using that, these apps do it all for you. It's pretty amazing. So there's a lot of resources out there, and NRF puts things out, and Chain Store Age puts things out. That's where I actually saw the app, and everybody has access to these resources right now. They should be taking advantage of the free webinars and resources both that ISA have and NRF and Chain Store Age if it's got to do with retail.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing some pretty amazing things. The 3D printer, to be able to print out and put up cool textured graphics, the package for how to address retail in this new normal / new future that we're already in and living. I think today was the first day they announced 50 states have actually all in one way or another entered the partial reopen phase.
Yes, I mean, today I heard that Napa County is going to be the first California county to open, so it's pretty exciting.
We're pulling for you guys. You guys went down, you shut down pretty quick out there, so hopefully.
We won't talk about the few restaurants that have gone rogue and are open already, but I may or may not have visited one.
There's got to be a few, kind of like that salon person in Texas. You got to open up. It's a small business. We're a country that exists on business.
Yeah.
So you've listed a few of those things from sitting out there in Southern California and your job, your role, 22 years looking at signage. What advice could you give sign companies? I know you mentioned 3D printer and you mentioned the package. What do you think these sign companies that are listening should be thinking about how they're going to market and sell to retail, beyond those few points, starting today and going forward?
I think that with the focus on the pop-up stores, it would help if they created some kind of template program for that as well. If they're not able to do fixtures, that's not a big deal. Signs are still a major element of that. And to have signs that are quick, easy, changeable, flexible with brand changes, logo, because a lot of these new brands are playing with their logo or their fonts or this or colors or whatever. So if they can have something similar to the COVID package as a temp or pop-up store package, I think that would help tenants as well, because there are a lot of local ones that aren't familiar or don't have a national sign company already that they're using. So it's a great opportunity for them.
I think that's incredible advice. I'm a big fan of this pop-up store concept, and a big fan of we'll have to put some type of signature to it. The Judy Walton post-COVID package, right?
Okay.
I think that's going to be a big thing in the retail world, and I think the visualization of it is going to help, because everyone's kind of opening right now and they're wondering, my business is going to change, but how is it going to change, and what do I need to have it change? Good example, I was on with somebody recently, and they do a digital sign that actually wheels out. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking to myself as I was driving around, most of these restaurants, the takeout lines are becoming really large. Yes. And when you're in a takeout line, you're probably hungry. And if you're like me, even after you place your order, you probably want to order something else. Mm-hmm. And if you're advertising something good, I'm probably adding it on.
Yeah.
I think that's really the way they're going to survive is how do you nailed it on the head. How do we make the signage capable of being changed over and over again
Yes.
in a quicker amount of time?
Yep.
That's awesome. Judy, you answered all my questions, I think.
Wonderful. Hopefully it helps some sign companies and retailers out there.
I hope so. I believe it will. Thank you for coming on today, for being the senior tenant sign manager of Simon Properties Group for 22 years. And thank you for all the work you do with the ISA board and with the Signage Research Foundation.
I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you, Judy. Have
You're
a good
welcome.
day.
You too.